Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
Yo, what's going on? I am Scoots Bronson.
And I am S. Foster.
That's right. You tuned into another episode of the Viewers Anonymous podcast where we give you our very own reviews and takes of movies and TV straight out of Hollywood. My brother. You picked another one, man. I can't lie to you.
Man, listen, man.
I
just be out here on this content, man. And like,
I'm with you.
It's like the thing that I've learned is like, I first of all, you say it a lot too. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be observant. You got to be able to, you know what I'm saying, listen to people. And I think that's another reason why this part works. But it's like, I know you love twists.
Yes.
It's like this movie, because when I got hit with the last one, I was like, yeah. I said this is the type of shit my guy Scoots fuck with. And I was like, I know when that last one hit him, I was like, yo, I know he was like, yo, this movie just made a totally different turn, man. So
let me tell you something. This movie made hella turns. If you were following this movie, you would be lost. Okay, let me tell you something, man. First and foremost, the movie we're talking about is Sharper. It is out on Apple TV right now. Came out in 2023. Rated R with a minute and 56. I'm sorry, with an hour and 56-minute runtime. Motivations are suspect and expectations are turned chaos. But a con man decides to take on Manhattan billionaires to make life a better life. Now, it ain't just a con man, first and foremost. It's a whole group of these motherfuckers. That's what we need to get down on. Okay. So, real quick, man, this movie stars Julianne Moore, Sebastian Stan, Justice Smith, Brianna Middleton, John Lithgow. Trying to see if anybody else got a pretty big name in here. Or if anybody else that we really know.
Yeah, everybody else.
Samara Joy, shout out to her. I know her. Everybody else is pretty much, you know what I'm saying, just the next level guys. So okay. Now, watching this, I'm thinking, okay, oh man, my man hit me with the love story. You know what I'm saying? Oh, what is this about? Shout out to Justice Smith real quick, though. I'm sorry. I got to say this because my first time ever seeing Justice Smith was on The Get Down on Netflix, right? Where he played Zeke. And to see his, like, trajectory has been amazing, bro. He's done a lot of different things. And he's been in, like, a bunch of different shit. But he really has, like, broaden his horizons. Like, I feel like he's like on that next level, like that next tier to come out and be like the superstars. I think he's going to be at that level for sure. Like how they got Will Smith, like straight just box office. I feel like he could be that. You know what I'm saying? With all the roles and stuff that he's been getting, the movies he's been taking and stuff, I can see my man doing some major shit. But so we see Tom, played by Justice Smith. Tom is the owner of a bookstore. First and foremost, the way that they introduced this movie, okay, is already I'm glued in. And let me tell you why I'm glued in. Because there's a song by Irma Thomas called Ruler of My Heart that plays in this, intro to the movie. The first time I ever heard this song, though, was on a sample on a mixtape by Joel Santana called Come Back. Never heard this song outside of that until the time I watched this. And I said, oh, I know what that is. And it kept, playing around. I said, oh, shit, that's Joel Santana. So already I'm into it. I fuck with the introduction to the movie, all that, right? And then you see my man Z. I'm gonna call him Zeke. I'm sorry. But you see my man Tom. Sitting back, he kicking back, reading. Looking studious and whatnot. Then you see this beautiful, elegant, you know what I'm saying, just goddess walk through the door. You know what I'm saying? She asking for their eyes was watching God. And then I shuddered. I said, oh, why that book? Because I had to read that book in high school and I didn't like that book. You know what I'm saying? We spent a long time on that fucking book. Um, the fact that that book is about some shit in South Africa is crazy, by the way. But shout out to Zordon Hurston. Um, so I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, then, you know what I'm saying? The queen I read, I fucks with it. I like this already. You know what I'm saying? I like where this is going. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, you know what I'm saying? They get to kicking it, they get to talking. My man shoot a shot. He kind of get rejected. Close him down. She pop back up. You know what I'm saying? And then she like, yo, I know you shot your shot earlier, and it looked like you kind of missed, but I grabbed that shit off the backboard, slam dunk. What's up now? Hey, high five it. Let's go to the, you know what I'm saying? Let's go out to eat. They do that. I'm like, oh, we in there. Shout out to Tom, my man Tom. You know what I'm saying? I got hope for all brothers. You know what I'm saying? I'm with it. Any man that shoots his shot deserves it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, we in a love story. I'm with this. I like this. You know what I'm saying? Two young folks out here reading books because I'm really with that. You know what I'm saying? Love
Yep.
people who read. Shout out to y'all in the libraries and whatnot. All the librarians. You know what I'm saying? But so you know what I'm saying? They kicking it. They getting to know each other. They look like they having an amazing time. And then she say Jane Eyre, right? Famous author. We all know. We all had to read her in high school. He like, oh shit. Let me take you back to the store. I got something for you. My man break out the first edition autobiography. She like, what? You know, she all excited. They kiss. We already know where it lead from there. Now, this is where it fucks me up. They at a party. She's outside. She's talking to this girl, and she says, "How long have you known Tom?" But she said 3 weeks, bro. Hey man, this whole montage, I'm thinking that they just like fucking with each other. They living life, nigga. This has been 3 weeks, bro. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, what? So I see that. I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. She done already gave up the cheeks. Everything going good. My man Tom winning. The next thing you know what I'm saying, we get a little trouble. But before we get to that, I want to know where your head is at. Because like I said, this is one you picked. How was you feeling about the intro to this?
Well, the first thing that I noticed about the intro was, you know what I'm saying? They put a person's name up. First person was Tom. So it's like, okay, so this is going to be interesting. So like everything that you said, the movie's flowing. You got this love story thing going on. She almost got caught up in something real quick at the party because the girl asked her what class, because she told her she went to the school. So, oh, I went to that school. What class are you? So but she swelled her way out of it real quick. So it's like I'm watching this, and I'm like, okay, like this is flowing pretty well. And then all of a sudden, this knock at the door. So you hear this knock at the door, and like this dude is like fucking going irate outside the door.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where like the turning point of the movie happens. Cause he's like, yo, who's that? So she goes into this whole sad story about this her brother. He always need money, blase, blase, all this type shit. So then it takes you to another level where he's like, yo, well, why don't I just give you the money? She's like, you can't give me the money. She's like,
Oh
why?
no, don't skip the saddest part of this whole film. Don't you do that? No, 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 no. First off, my man Tom comforting her. They sitting outside on the fire escape. They chopping it up. Next thing you know, my man Tom, he don't hear from her in about 2 3 days. He texting her, she ain't texting back. He
Oh yeah,
calling her,
yeah,
she ain't
yeah.
calling back. Just ghosting my man. So he like, yo, what the fuck going on? He go to her crib, you know what I'm saying? And you know, like, hey, he brought her flowers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he brought her some books. Like he was thoughtful.
Yeah.
He like, yo, what's going on? Well, her brother got hurt, he got beat up, and then she say, now this is where my antennas went up, okay? My hair stood up like this. Okay. I said, this don't make no sense. She says to him, paying them back doesn't mean anything. didn't sit right with me. First and foremost, one thing I know about movies, they always want their money. Second thing I know about criminals, they always want their money. So they want their money. Okay. So all that paying them back don't mean nothing. We don't want to hear that. Something going on. Something ain't right. Next thing you know, my man hit her with the, you know, how much is it? She says $350,000. I clutched my pearls as that. I clutched them. Said I was aghast. Said $350,000. Where they gonna get that kind of money from? My niggas said, "Oh, I got that." You know, that's nothing. That's light work. She said, "This is where I start to hate her character off rip." She say, "How can you get that?" This nigga say, "Oh, it's in the bank, and I get that tomorrow." So I'm like, okay, big flex. I fuck with it, right? She say, "When are you gonna tell me? What are you talking about? What type of response is that?"
Like, this is the whole point. I don't want people to know that I could just easily get $350,000 out the bank. That's
If a
why I
nigga,
got this. That's why I got this broke down bookstore. Like
let me
that's
tell
the
you
whole
something.
thing
Somebody
of
came up
like,
to you, bro. Real quick, somebody came up to you, bro, and they was like, "Hey, I want to give you $5," and you was like, "Man, when did you get some money?" What type of response is that? No, take the $5, keep it pushing. $350,000, and you say, "When are you gonna tell me?" I'm not. That's not. That's the wrong question to ask. The wrong question to ask is, can you get it in large denominations? Can you get it? Can you get it early in the morning? You know what I'm saying? What? Come on, man.
yes, and then like, so she sit there and say that, when were you gonna tell me? And he was like, well, basically, I don't like to just tell people that that my dad is rich and all this type of shit. And so then she hits him with, yo, like, you don't, what she say, you don't know me like that, or how she worded
No,
it? I think
she
she,
said we basically are just strangers.
oh yeah, and that shit pissed him the fuck off. He said,
Strange your
fuck
ass out
you.
my house then. How about that? Let me I'm sorry, because this her house. Let me strange my ass out this apartment then. And let you figure out how the fuck you about to pull this off.
So he tells her fuck you when he walks out.
Mm-hmm.
So then, this is where the movie started to take a turn. I mean, some other stuff, but like, we're not gonna go scene for scene. But we kind of got to give you these pieces to get you to kind of understand like where we're
Absolutely.
going here. So
Mm-hmm.
then they rekindle back together. He gives her the money. So she's like, he tells her, "I love you." Now it's very important. She didn't say it back. She didn't say it back. But then she walks off with the money. So what ended up happening is she goes ghost again.
No, remember she told him before she left, she said, "I see you tonight." He says, "Yes." And he says, "Where you want to meet up?" She says, "I know this nice little Asian
Uh,
restaurant."
yeah,
The
it's
same
where
restaurant
they
they went to the
on their
first
first
night.
date. Yeah,
Yeah.
and so he goes there. She doesn't show up. So
Mm.
then he goes to her apartment. He's trying to hunt her down, can't find her. But what they hit you with is screen goes black.
Mm-hmm.
Then it says Sandy, and
No,
then it
Sandra. Sandra.
Sandra.
Sandra.
Yeah, yeah. And like, so what this movie does is it shows you an event,
Mm-hmm.
and then it leaves you on a cliffhanger, and then it shows you the other person's lead up to how they got to where they was.
Absolutely. So what I like about this is they broke it down into 5 different acts, right?
Yes.
So you have Tom, Sandra, Max, Madeline, and then Sandy. Now, what I really appreciate about this whole movie is the fact that every act introduces you to a new character, which is eventually going to be the next act, right?
Yes.
And it leaves you on the cliffhanger because you know that somebody's going to stiff somebody at this point. You could see it happening. You know that somebody's getting stiffed. The Max act is where I feel like everything kind of came together. I think his part was the most important part. Um, and by the way, shout out to Sebastian Stan because I did not know that was Sebastian Stan for at least the first 20 minutes of his act. I kept looking at his face and I kept saying, "This motherfucker looks familiar." And I kept saying, "Something about this dude looks familiar." And I kept looking, and then I said, "He looked like the Winter Soldier dude." It's him. So I looked up, I googled the cast. I'm like, "Oh shit, that's Sebastian Stan." He looks crazy without facial hair. By the way, he don't got the chin for it. I'm sorry, but he, you know what I'm saying. His whole storyline is basically the whole con man of it all, right? Like his storyline brings everything together really, and what's crazy about it is it's the second act, so like you really don't get it until after everything's over. But like without him, none of this shit comes together or works at all.
Yeah. And so like it's very interesting because like
They I don't know what happened, but the fact that they basically put his storyline in so early, I think is what really kept the story, you know what I'm saying, like fresh and confusing. Because usually that's the storyline that would be like towards the end of it all.
I can see what you're saying, but like he was such an integral part of Sandra's one. Like, you know what I'm saying, the whole scene of, the parole officer and
Yeah.
the whole watch thing, and then, him taking her into his apartment and cleaning her up and, like basically turning her into a con person.
Right.
But within that story, you're learning like, dang, like this dude, you know what I'm saying? What he's doing to her by the whole thing of when you know him teaching her another language, her the whole Titanic thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that was a great example to use because, but I also think you have to have the perfect answer. She had the perfect answer because Titanic being the movie that it is, right? That's kind of like with you with the whole Power universe. You never
Mm-hmm.
watched the Power universe,
Mm-hmm.
but you can have a conversation with somebody and they can think you watched the whole goddamn shit. And that's what he did with her. Like, oh man,
I am also a con man, so yes. yes,
yes.
that
So
works. That works.
yeah. So
But
like
okay, wait a minute though, because this is the only thing about that Titanic conversation that I had a problem with. Everybody knows what happens on the Titanic. So it's really not hard to know that movie.
well, the way he did it was he really took the Leo part of it and was like, yo, well, the Titanic movie is the movie that made him and all this type stuff.
Okay.
And
I'm glad you said that. Go ahead. I'm glad you said that because we about to get into this.
because like and then he was like and she said something about Kate Winslet
Mm-hmm.
and then he was just like and she said, well, my favorite movie or something like that was she mentioned The Departed. And then
Mm-hmm. No, she
she
said
was like
that he was pretty good in The Departed.
pretty good in The Departed. And she
Mm-hmm.
was like, have you seen that? And he was like, I don't watch movies. And
Mm-hmm.
she was like, what you mean? He was like, I gave you the assumption that I watch movies. He said movies are a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
And so like then like you're starting to like understand because it's like, first of all, how do you meet this girl in a bar? Well, you don't even meet her. You just see that she's having a conversation with his parole officer and the parole officer was shaking her down.
Mm-hmm.
And so he looked at that as an opportunity. Okay, well, you on parole. I just helped you out. I gave you a, you know what I'm saying, a
Out basically.
yeah, gave you an out by, giving this woman a fake ass Rolex and giving
Mm-hmm.
her some cash. Now
Mm-hmm.
you kind of indebted to me, like to where you owe me something, to where you would come back to my home, and then he tries to clean her up and all this type stuff. But like watching him in hers, and then taking you to the one that's the timeline of Max, it's like when you first seen it. So let me ask you this: when you first seen the Max joint where he shows up to the party, Madeline is Madeline, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's Madeline in there, and he's like going nuts, like saying that's mom and all this type of shit, and she's asking him, "Are you high or whatever?" And he pisses in a fucking thing and all this type of shit, and it's
Yeah.
like, all right, like, did you watch that? Like, this is another con? Or you like, yo, I can see why he acting like this because he's a fucking bitch to his mom. Like, what was your first, what I'm saying, impressions of like that part when you was thinking, yo, he's like wilding towards his mom, or did you think it
Okay.
was a scam?
Okay. So first and foremost, um, the Titanic conversation, right?
Okay, yeah.
We got to jump back to that real quick. If you pay attention to what he was doing in the Titanic conversation, this is what um I would like to say con man, but this is not just con man. This is what most guys do to their girlfriends or wives or whatever. Um, they'll realize that they're very excited about a particular subject,
Hmm.
and they'll vaguely answer throughout the whole conversation, right? So she says Titanic is my favorite movie. He responds, mine too. Now, when he says mine too, she gets excited. He realizes this excitement. And if you notice, he never ever says anybody's name. He never mentions any details. He's basically just talking about the movie. She's already excited. He knows she loves this movie. So anything that he says, she's going to be like, yeah, as long as he agrees with her. So then she says, yeah, it was like Leo's, you know what I'm saying? Like Leo was so perfect in that. So he says, yeah, it was basically like his debut. We know that's not Leo's debut. We all know that if you go back to watching What's Eating Good but Great, you can see Leonardo DiCaprio. You can really see him way before that, but it was Eating Good but Great was where everybody kind of be like, yo, Leonardo DiCaprio did his thing, right? So then she goes, yeah, and Kate Winslet was so pretty. He skips that part because that's when you realize he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He says, yeah, but the ending was so tragic because he knows what happened in the Titanic, right?
Hmm.
You can't lose. So when he says the ending is so tragic, he's talking about the Titanic. Anybody that watches the movie could be talking about the fact that she lost the love of her life,
Yeah.
and then she threw that goddamn multi-billion-dollar ass necklace in the ocean when she could have been doing trading that motherfucker in and saved her family. But that's another story. That's another story. You know what I'm saying? She was a horrible person. But so that could be taken however. So then she was talking about Leo in The Departed. So that's when he hits her back with I mean that's when he hit her back with um yeah, but Titanic was the one that really put him on the map. And then they're sitting there talking about it, and she was like, "Yo, I can't believe Titanic is your favorite movie, or Titanic is a movie you like, or something." She said to him, and that's when he hit her with the "Yeah, it's not." But the whole time he's just being vague. It's nothing about what he said is like telling that he watched the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like even if you go back and rewatch it and listen, you can see that you can tell he never watched this fucking movie because usually when you talk about a movie, especially something that you really like, or just any topic for that matter, you get into detail. He never gets into detail. He don't name no names. He don't name no actors. She does all that work for him.
Yeah.
He's basically just feeding off of whatever she's giving him. So from that point on, I knew okay, this nigga's level of expertise is high because nothing that he said told her that he fucked with that movie. So then when you go to the situation with him and Madeline, and they're in the room, or I'm sorry, he enters the party. He drank a little champagne or whatever. Now he appearing, a little bit tipsy, and he's doing all this other shit. He offends Richard. Richard is looking like, the fuck? You are very old. Now, for most people, that would sound crazy. For Richard, because he's very old, that's very fucking offensive. You know what I'm saying? Very fucking offensive. First off, nigga, you don't even know me. This is our first time meeting. Whatever. So that's when Madeline takes him off, tells Richard, yo, just give me a minute, let me talk to him, let me figure out what's going on. They put on this whole show of him being either a drug addict or ex-drug addict. He's drinking, right? And all of this is happening. The reason that I think that scene tells you everything you need to know about the movie for real is because it was literally in the next room. So it wasn't like they were whispering. It wasn't like they were being secret. They were literally having back and forth conversation about whatever they was having it about, mom and son or whatever. But it was literally in the next room. So it wasn't no doors closed. There wasn't none of that. So when he leaves out and he sees Richard standing there, he looks at him like, "Did you enjoy the show?" Yo, I'm like, the first thing that popped in my head is, "Oh shit, they about to set this nigga up." Now, what fucked me up is the next scene where she's kissing on this nigga. Cause I'm like, wait a minute, that's his mom. Now I know there's other stuff in between that. We got to get to that, but I'm just saying, like, that one fucked me up because I'm like, whoa, that's his mom. What's going on here? Now the movie getting a little too lovey-dovey.
It was a little more than kids. Like, yeah, it started out that way.
Absolutely,
until like everybody, know the whole move when somebody got a skirt on, they do the whole little.
Oh, absolutely. Come on.
Like,
yeah, easy access.
This is beyond kissing at this point.
Absolutely.
She did the lip move, so it's like then you kind of see like, oh shit, that's not his mom's. It's because like in the beginning when I first seen this movie, I thought it was his mom's. I was just oh well, dang, that's why he with you. Like that's why he wilding like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because him and his mom got this crazy ass wild relationship. And then it's like, then when they started doing that, I was like, oh, well, when you think about what you saw with him and what he did for Sandra, it's like, wow, like he got a whole roster right here.
Now, this is what really fucked me up because at this point, I'm trying to figure out who is the lead con.
Yeah.
Right? I'm thinking it's her the whole time. And it's not. So that kind of put me in a space where I'm like, all right, this nigga might be way greater than we think he is for real. Like this nigga might really be like the GOAT in this movie because the shit he was pulling off was amazing. First and foremost, going back to him, Madeline, and Richard. He asks, can he stay? Richard, he cool with it because he loved Madeline or whatever. You know how it go. So he wakes up, they having breakfast, and you see him sitting in the hall or kind of in the doorway listening to Madeline and Richard's conversation about how, she kind of failed at being a mother and his dad passed and now she's a widow and she's trying to figure everything out and she babied him, blah, blah, blah. He enters the room. She leaves the room and now it's him and Richard. And Richard is like, yo, you got to get your shit together. You got to get it together. How about you come out? You know what I'm saying? You come kick it with us tonight. It's going to be some young women there. It's going to be some good musical talent there. Maybe some music you even like, so on and so forth. He says, nah, I'm going to just hang back and chill. This is the perfect scheme. Because now Richard is fully under the impression that this is her son. But because he fuck with her so much, My nigga like, hey, look, I'm a dude, you know what I'm saying, whatever it take to fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be kicking it for a minute, but you know, I'm here for your mama. I ain't here for you. Meanwhile, this nigga is basically scheming all over Richard shit while they gone. And I said, this nigga's the GOAT.
Like that whole. Now I'm gonna tell you what fucked me up was the scene after that. So they get back from the party, and there's this cop there talking about, yo, he tried to buy some drugs off of me. It was an undercover scheme, whole thing. So he's flipping out and all this type of shit. And so Richard's like, yo, like, check this out. I donated a lot of money to the police department. Um, I'm a big donor. There's some kind of way we could fix this, officer. And so he was like, well, that's why I brought him here, because he said that he lived here and we know that you know, a donor or whatever. So Richard's like, basically, like, let's cut to the chase. Like, you know what I'm saying? How much money you want? You know what I'm saying? So we can make this shit go away. And what threw me off was Richard handed him the money. And then Madeline say, don't do it. He does this all the time. He's not a real cop. And I'm like, all right. Now I'm sitting here like, okay, so what's really going on here?
Yeah.
And so cop leaves and Richard looks at, you know what I'm saying, looks at Max like, yo, if you're gonna steal, go big. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is small time shit. Like, he probably only gave him, like, you know what I'm saying, a couple thousand, if that, or whatever. And so all that was like just testing to see where Richard was. Like, all it was a test. Because she was like, yo, because she told Max, yo, you got to get the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? And so then Richard set up a meeting with Max and basically tries to pay him off. Like, look, I'll give you $60,000 a year. He was like, to do what? He was like, whatever you want to do. You can travel, you can do this, you can do that. You know what I'm saying? And so he was like, so you trying to pay me to go away? He was like basically, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? You upsetting your mom. Like, every time you come, around, you upsetting your mom. So yeah,
right.
I'm giving you no. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. He said 60,000 a month, my guy.
Month.
My bad. I said a year. He said 60,000 a month. Can y'all imagine? Take a second here. Let's rewind. All right. I ain't ashamed. I make around that a year. Yo, can you imagine somebody saying, yo, I will pay you $60,000 a month?
Let me tell you something. This is where I hate the way they make criminals in movies. Because in real life, that's the score right there.
Yeah.
You have a legit 60 grand a month, guaranteed, for however long you need it to be. You have it.
Yo. To sit there and say, yo, I want a year advanced, and that's the score? Yo, now I get it to the point where if Madeline wanted to get out, because
she did want to get out at first.
Yeah, at first she did. And that's why they took the money and they thought that was the score. And so then all of a sudden, the black cop, quote unquote, shows back up, which is Tipsy.
Yep.
So it's like, oh shit. Then they hand him what's supposed to be his cut. Oh, well, we had expenses.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, I'm starting to feel like the mark here. Like, you know what I'm saying? This ain't what y'all told me up front. And so then that's when you kind of realize why they took the upfront money, because, like you said, she did initially wanted to get out. But then tables have turned again. And that's why I was like, yo,
Taylor time, she came to her fucking senses, first and foremost.
Yeah,
Okay.
she did come to her senses.
First and foremost, let's talk about this. Because I get it. You know, you like the young boy. You like Max. Young, vibrant, keeping you alive. All that shit is cool. But you gonna be hitting licks for the rest of your life fucking with Max. When you could be with Richard, who gonna have you set? He gonna have you everything you need. You sitting here faking his life, but it's a life of luxury. The fake it till you make it is actually has manifested itself all the way to you having a magnificent life. When she said on that phone, "Yeah, you right. I like him." I said, "Thank goodness," because there's no way. When I heard that this man was a billionaire, I said, "What is she doing? She has the play. She has it made." Now. I'm already pissed off at Max because Max has ruined 60 grand a month.
Yep.
Now I get it. You know, you get your year advance and all that shit. That's cool. You know what you could do with 60 grand a month, man? 60 grand. That's what? 60 grand a month is. Let me add this up because it's already pissing me off. Okay. I'm trying to do this shit. Right? 60 grand times 12. But that's $720,000 a year. Now, these bozos decided to make off and split $350,000 a year.
Well, not even a year. That's a one-time, you know what I'm saying, score.
You're right. I'm sorry, you're right. $350,000 one-time score compared to $720,000 a year, maybe a little bit less because you got to pay taxes. Maybe not. Who knows? Man,
well, no, because he said he wanted it in cash.
Regardless of how he wanted it, okay, you're right. He wanted it in cash. So $720,000 a year. This bozo decides to say, "Nah, just give me a year's advance," right? Which would make it $720,000. But that's one time. When you can literally live off of that for the rest of your life.
Well,
so,
at least as long as Richard.
No. For the rest of your life, because Madeline has become the new beneficiary. So yeah, you can live off that for the rest of your life. But this is what pisses me off. Well, not piss me off. This is what made me happy. Madeline realizes, okay, we hit this score. That's cool. We just had to split $720,000 when I can literally just be the wife of a billionaire. I mean, it's clear cut.
But set him up as well.
That's what she was fucked up at.
And I think that the reason why she did that was I think that she just wanted to just cut him out. Period. I
mean, it was nothing to cut out. He got his money, he was gone.
I mean, this is true. And I don't understand why she felt that she had to set him up. Because what's paying him $720,000 a year hurting you? You know what I'm saying? Like,
but I mean, shit. At this point, you ain't even doing that. He done already got his cut.
This is true, but I think she just wanted to cut ties with him. Period.
Maybe so, but let me tell you something.
I think she wanted it all.
With $1 billion, you could definitely do that. With $1 billion, you could get the money he got back.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I'm saying? You can do a lot with $1 billion. Speaking of, if you had $1 billion, an opportunity to have $1 billion, fuck that. Let's because that's too obvious of a question. If you had that one-time score of $720,000 plus or minus $20,000 because of tipsy, What would you do with $700,000?
Man, dude. I mean, I can't even like pinpoint nothing. Like I'm not settling down anywhere. I'm traveling. Like I'm all over the place. Like it's just like that kind of money, and you don't have to. That's the thing. You ain't got to do shit. Nothing.
That shit cash money.
It'd be different if you had to do something. You know what I mean? You have to do nothing. Like this is like you remember when in Dead Presidents when my man was like, man, he said I got my veterans check coming once a month. He said I got my medical coming once a month. He said, man, I ain't gotta do shit but go to the mailbox. You hear me?
Right.
Like all you gotta do is, you know what I'm saying, check your app on your phone. It hit. You know what I mean?
Word.
Like it was like the perfect thing. But no, within most situations that you watch when it comes to criminals, greed always takes over.
Always. You know what I'm doing with $700,000? I'm taking 200,000 of it. I'm wrapping it in cellophane, as
Okay.
tight as can be, right?
Hmm.
And then I'm freezing it in an ice block.
Okay.
And the rest of the money I'm gonna blow.
Okay.
I
Like
thought this through.
it
Also,
sounds like it.
yeah. Also, I'm getting a suit made of $1 bills,
Yo, this dude right here.
a tuxedo made of $1 bills. You know what I'm saying? Thought about this. Thought about this very much so. Because originally I had this idea because I was like, man, what would I do with $500,000? I'm like, oh, that's easy. I could take because I call $500,000 cocaine money.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I call that cocaine money because that's usually the type of money that a good cocaine dealer can make. So I'm like, yeah, that's cocaine money, right? So I said, I would never do cocaine, but if I had like the money to be able to like to afford it, I would take that 200,000, freeze it in an ice block just to have that because don't nobody got nothing like that. So I'm the first one with it. You know what I'm saying? I would blow it, but I would also have a tuxedo made of $1 bills. Who got that?
Yo, this guy right here. I mean, if you got that much, man, you know what I'm saying? At least go fives, you know what I'm saying? Have old Abe on
Nah,
there.
nah, 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 nah. Hell nah. See, getting greedy. Nah, I need $1 bills in a suit, a tuxedo. You know what I'm saying? Tailor made. You know how hard that'd be? A whole suit made of dollar bills? Man, come on, man. Fashion, baby. I'm out here.
Oh
And I'm gonna
man.
do a whole photo shoot with the ice block. That's $200,000 ice. Don't nobody got that. Don't nobody got that.
Nah, ain't nobody got that.
I'm
Nobody got
forward
that.
thinking, bro. I'm forward thinking.
Yeah, this guy. So then, like, so she set Max up, and so
Hmm.
now she in the money. She
Yes,
going out shopping. She's doing all of these things, all this extravagant stuff,
as she
and
should.
yeah, she should. She earned it at this point. She
Yes.
earned it. And
So
so she earned
she,
it.
yeah,
So then Richard passed away.
a luck of the Irish.
So then now there was a scene that we skipped over. It was very
Hmm.
important. So when he brought Max in for that meeting, Tom
No,
was there.
yeah, you're right. Yep, yep, yep.
And Tom is talking to him about something, and he kind of pissed pissed Tom off, and Tom was like, "All right, with that, whatever." And then you like, "Oh shit!" And then he was like, "That's my son, Tom. I thought he was gonna be the one I was gonna hand my whole business down to, but he want to do this, blah blah blah,
He
all this
said
kind
that nigga was too weak.
of yeah." Because this was after. No. This was before. No. This was after he gave old girl that 350,000. So
No, no.
okay,
This is
yeah,
so. This is
that's
this is
before.
this
That's
is why I
before.
say this is yeah. This is why I say it was interesting for them to put Max's story second because all of this happens before
The Tom situation.
exactly.
So he was. I thought he was gonna be the one. So then we go back to what we were talking about. So Richard passes away, and so the lawyer is telling them, you know what I'm saying, the will and all this type of shit. Left Madeline and everything, but the kicker is he left. Well, his son Tom, he's still going to be able to live the life that he lives, and left him this foundation
Mm-hmm.
that he was going to be basically the CEO of, or whatever, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when you like, oh, okay. So Madeline,
Well, they made her a trustee on the board.
yeah, which was supposed to go to Tom, and then she tried to act all, oh man, I just can't believe that he would do this to you,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel so like, yo, bitch, you don't care.
Right.
Like, this was your whole plan, and this is why you didn't leave. Now,
Mm-hmm.
did she know, or did she have any involvement in Richard passing away so soon? We don't know because they don't say.
I don't doubt it. Well, you know
But
what? I take that back. I take that back. I don't want to say that because nothing about them ever like said murder.
yeah, they seem like they scam and then they run and go to the next town and
Absolutely.
get the
They
next person.
100% scammers.
Yeah, so maybe she didn't have maybe, but what I'm saying is, did she know about any kind of like sickness maybe to where
She
she was
might
like,
have because remember Max seen him in the when he was in the office getting his blood work checked
so that's what I'm
or
saying.
getting
Like,
whatever was happening with him and the guy in the office. Remember he came out before the meeting and Max was like, "Yo, you everything good?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, just regular maintenance."
yeah. So we don't know if Madeline kind of knew like what he's not gonna be kicking for too much longer. So I could just wait this shit out because this dude is
Hmm.
like madly in love with me, and like I
Oh
know I'll
wait a
be
minute,
able to get.
we got to talk about how she had it so sweet. She had it made. Okay, first and foremost, she dealing with this old on the brink of death, motherfucker. And she
Damn.
don't got to do nothing. And she about to be a beneficiary of $1 billion something, maybe more than that, maybe multi billions. But she at least about to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
But it's girls out here humping on old 80-year-old men for $1,000, doing the dirty work out here, and she ain't had to do shit. She's gonna be a
Yeah.
billionaire. Y'all gotta rethink y'all strategy, man, because y'all fucking up. $1,000, bro, just to hump on. Nah, bro. Could
Yeah.
you?
You stupid as fuck, man. This
Hey,
guy.
could you?
Oh my god,
Could you? Could you have a sugar mama for $1,000, bro?
man. Look. Hey.
Hey, man. Bruh. Hey, bruh. Let me tell you something. I've thought about like shit I've done in my life, right? I don't know if I could do that, bruh. I really don't know if I could pull that off, man. For $1,000, just like I know, like I don't know if I can do that, bro. I'm sorry. That's risky. That's
That's
risky.
super risky.
Man, that's risky. Cause it's like you can't really even do what you want to do. You really can't even you can't even really get in there.
Yeah. Like I man, that's one of those things, man, where I look back and I be like, look, man, money ain't the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm
which is
saying?
the
It's
moral?
like,
Which is the moral of this story? Actually,
yeah, like at the end of the day, it's like, yo, it's like it's like what you willing to do, and it's like, yo, man, I got morals at some point, and it's just like,
man. Yeah, that's not. Now I will say this. I'm sorry. I ain't gonna lie, because everybody got a price. If all my bills is paid and I get like a $500 stipend, yeah, I might have to. I might have to break down. I might have to break down and do that, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you,
oh
bro.
man. So basically, yo, you stupid as fuck. So Tom is all upset about that, but they talk about the situation because now time has gone by,
Yeah,
and the reason why Richard didn't leave Tom the stuff because of the situation of him giving Sandy the 350,000,
right.
and so his dad felt that he wasn't, capable of handling certain money positions and things like that. So she is so basically to speed this whole thing up. So he's staying there, but when she comes home one day, there's these people there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, like these people are gonna help me track down the Sandy girl or Sandra that stole the $350,000.
Right.
And so she's like, yo, like you need to grow. Basically, you need to grow the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Let this thing go. There's no reason to hunt this girl down. So they end up finding her,
Mm-hmm.
but she's strung out. You know what I'm saying, on drugs and all this type of shit, and wants to live there.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, so Madeline like, hell no. So Madeline goes in there and talks to her, and then she tells her, yo, I'm the person that was with Max, and I need you to find Max.
Or I'm telling
Now
everything.
tell everything. And now she's like, oh, she can stay as long as she wants. Like, nobody asked her why she had a change of heart, but she's like, yo, she can stay as long as she wants. So
Right.
now she's calling Max the person that she fucked over. Now Max don't want to talk to her because he's like, yo, like the last time I talked to you, you had the police banging at my door.
Right. And you left me for the billionaire.
Yeah. So Max don't want to fuck with her. So there's a lot of shit that happened, but this is the shit that really gets like. So then there's this meeting
Mm-hmm.
where everybody's meeting. So
Wait.
Sandy run.
So the meeting is for them to meet Max.
Yes.
That was the focus of the meeting, was for them to meet Max, because um Max had basically, he was the key to all of this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If they can get Max, they could pretty much cover themselves up, or if they felt like they could pretty much get away with everything.
Yeah. And so then Sandra runs up to him. She's hitting him and all this type shit. And so, like, you left me, blase, blase, all this type shit. And so then they didn't expect Tom to be there. Tom followed them there.
Mm-hmm.
And so Tom is, saying this, that, and this, all this type of shit. So Tom act like he's going to shoot himself. And then Sandy comes up, knocks the gun out of his hand, and fucking Madeline picks it up. So Tom walks up to her, put the gun to his chest, like, just shoot me, boom, bomb go, bomb. Gun goes off.
Yeah.
And so then you see all this blood coming out. She's like, yo, I didn't shoot him. And like, we all, like, everybody like, yo, we seen you shoot him, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, yo, I
Mm-hmm.
give it all back. I give it all back. And so she gives up everything because she don't want to go to jail. So now you see Sandra, Max, and Madeline on a plane. Sandra's like, yo, I got to use the bathroom. So then Madeline goes to wipe the blood off of her shirt and like, yo, like this ain't blood. And Matt's like, what you mean? She's like, it comes off too easy. Like, what is this? And then they was like, yo, we got played. And then they
baby.
They go knocking on the door because they think Sandra's in the bathroom. And then they show you, like you said, the Sandy part.
Absolutely.
Where basically what happens is because Max basically fucked her. So she goes back to him and tells him everything. And then they so her and Tom run the whole fucking scheme on Max
this
and Matt.
This was the interesting part. Once they hit the lick, right? She get her cut, and she basically ends up working. So she's like a waitress or some shit. And she sees the local paper and realizes that Tom's dad passes.
Yeah.
She sees that and she's like, oh shit. Goes back to Tom. She basically confessed. But because Tom loved her, because they had that connection, you know what I'm saying? And, he really fucked with her. He like, yo, I've been trying to get back to you. I miss you. I love you. This whole thing has been him trying to basically find his girl.
Yeah.
He really ain't give a fuck about none of this other shit. He was just trying to make sure he get his girl back. And that's when, you go ahead finish it off. But that's, what I'm saying, basically how all of that kind of got to the point of, because you could tell she still had feelings for this dude.
Yeah, she did, but also it's not gonna hurt because he got all of his dad's shit at this point. Because because Madeline called the lawyer and basically put, gave everything back, thinking that what's his name, thinking Tom is dead.
Right, and she's still the trustee, so technically she signed everything over to herself.
Well, no, what the thing is, she put it into the foundation.
She was the trustee of the foundation.
No, Tom was.
No, Tom ran the foundation. So when they was talking in the meeting, right? They were sitting there, and remember, she got the money. He got the foundation. And I think she ended up being she was on the board of the company. She got the money, and then she basically took Richard's spot, and then he got the foundation. And that's when they was arguing, and he was like, yo, this shit should go to me. And remember, the lawyer was like, yeah, we tried that already. Remember a year ago, you broke down and you messed everything up. And your dad said that basically everything goes to Madeline. So at the end of that, he looked at Madeline and he said, also, you're also a trustee on the charity because you're a member of the board. So when she signed everything over, when I was on the plane, he was talking to her, and when she was talking to Max, she was like, yeah, everything signed over and Tom is dead. So guess who's still a trustee? So technically, we still got the money. We just got to find a way to go get it now. That's what she was saying on the plane.
But because Tom is really not dead, she can never get it.
Exactly.
So they were able to scam the scammers.
Yeah.
To where they ain't got shit now.
Yeah.
And now Sandy, with having feelings, because I'm not saying that she didn't have real feelings for the guy. Yeah. But I'm just saying, being in her situation now, it don't hurt that now you're a billionaire for real.
Oh no, for sure. But this was the key component that if you weren't paying attention to this movie, you might miss. Remember when Tipsy had got his cut and he got scammed? He was like, "Yo, it's a dude named Goldie who I think we should work with. He got a big score. We should hit that with him." Mm-hmm. They was like, "Nah, we good. We going on vacation." Basically, they was playing Tipsy to the left. Well, The guy that was the security, the main security guard, that was
That
Goldie.
was Goldie.
That was Goldie. So Tipsy got him in on it, right? And basically they all ended up getting their fair share of the cut and everything else. But now Tom pretty much runs everything and he's in control of the company now because Madeline served or signed everything over basically to him. So majority of the company now is in the charity or the trust or whatever, which is in possession of Tom.
Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then all of this is majority set up because of Sandra, aka Sandy, who, you know what I'm saying, she was just a girl that was down on her luck and ran into a dude that showed her how to play the game. And she played that motherfucker, man. But at the end of the day, love won.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? This was a fascinating love story.
Yeah. It definitely was, and but it's also one of them situations where, which we've seen in movies where, like for instance, 10 Things I Hate About You. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
we gonna pay you to take this girl out so I can go out with her, and then you got paid to go out with this girl, but you fell in love with her. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? While getting paid to go out with her. So this
Absolutely.
was like, we gonna run the score on this dude, and then you end up falling in love with the dude that you're running the game on. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I just thought that when I saw it, knowing like how much you love Twist and how that last one where they played it out was saying it was walking through the airport wiping the fake
Yeah.
black
The
eye off
makeup
of
off.
her, and
Yeah.
and they showing you when they was practicing in that damn warehouse and all that type of shit and how that shit went perfectly. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, wow.
Now, what confused me is this. They said she was on heroin. She was going through withdrawals and shit. Nobody questioned how she got the black eye.
Well, I I would imagine that somebody probably figured either the person that she bought it from, or you know what I mean. Like if you're living that life where
Ah, man.
she could,
Heroin dealers aren't aggressive.
it
They
ain't
don't
even
have to
really
be.
got to be a heroin dealer. It could be somebody she's doing heroin with, and maybe they
That's
want
even
income.
that's even crazier because being aggressive on heroin is not that's not a symptom. So that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah, this guy is
heroin
fucking
makes you nod.
sensible. Oh my.
We've seen the Ray. Everybody's seen Ray. Like heroin makes you nod off. That's what I'm saying. Like nothing about you is going to be aggressive on heroin. So I'm like, when she had the black eye the whole time, I was sitting there, I'm looking like, yo, who punched her in the eye? Where is that? That was my question. I'm like, yo, where the fuck did she get this black eye from? Who did this? And they was just like cool with it. They didn't say nothing about it. Nobody questioned nothing. Nothing.
Oh man. Well,
I'm like,
you
first and foremost, who's out here punching junkies? Because that's not a thing. That's why I'm like, yo, these might because at first, they built Max up to be like this great criminal, but then like they showed Madeline, and I'm like, yo, okay, that's why I said I felt like she learned from Max because I'm like, yo, I would have went with the billionaire too, smart move. You know what I'm saying? Instead of taking the score, just go get the whole kit and caboodle. But then I'm turning around and she not even asking how this girl got punched in the eye and what for.
man.
Test her skills. She showed you who she was when you were sitting in the bed. When you came in the room and she was sitting in the bed. She told you, yo, go get Max or I'm snitching on all you niggas. And she was just like, oh okay, cool. I'm gonna find them. But you don't have no question as to where she was at, when she started doing heroin, how long she been on heroin. First and foremost, the money that you had, because you know she got some money. She has some type of money because you can't get heroin for free. So if you was on heroin for 3 months and you had all this money, you'd have been OD. Nobody thought about that. Like it's a bunch of questions that should have been asked about her being in this room from Madeline, especially her being the criminal. I just didn't. I was like, yo, she really don't know nothing about crime. I could tell right now. Like these are possibly, well, she's possibly the worst scammer I've ever seen. Because how do you not peep none of the shit that's going on, and your whole job is to be aware of everything that's going on?
Man, I
Simple.
just think, well, this is the thing. She probably let her guard down at this point because she probably
Mm-hmm.
looked at it like I won, like I'm the
Mm-hmm.
one, I'm the last person standing. Like, so when that girl came in there and was like, "Yo, fine, Max, I'm gonna blow this shit up," I think she just let her guard down at this point. I think that she
And
just
and uh uh, Sandra was never on drugs.
never. I don't know about
Never.
never, cause
Never.
so you think so you're looking at it like, well, damn, I didn't think about it this way. Maybe the whole time Sandy was playing Max from the beginning. Maybe that parole officer wasn't a real parole officer.
No, that was definitely a parole officer.
Well, she got arrested for possession. You said she never did it.
She got arrested for what?
Possession of heroin. Why she just gonna have the shit on her? She looked like a junkie in the beginning.
She's selling it. Nigga, she had
This
braids.
ain't selling it, man.
Hey,
She was not
when
selling
he when he when they got to the apartment, what did he ask her to do? Let me
it.
see your feet. That was the first question. Let me see your feet. She didn't have no tracks. Then he say what? Let me see your arms. She didn't have no tracks. She never was on drugs, bro. How else can you look that rough and not be on drugs? You got to sell that shit. It's a stressful job. That's what I'm saying.
Yo, this. Yo, you used to.
I'm t- if you listen, go back and watch that scene, that bar scene where she gets off the train or bus or whatever the fuck she got off of, and she goes in there. She don't look like she was high, not off no fucking heroin. Now she said she smoked a little weed. That makes sense. Yeah, I get that. She could have been possibly high off weed, but it damn sure wasn't no heroin because heroin make you nod. If you notice, she ain't look sleepy. Not like doze off sleepy, like she about to pass out sleepy, but she definitely looked kind of high. Yeah, she never did drugs.
That's hilarious.
I'm telling you, man. It's those little nuances you got to pick up, man. So that's why when I said when she was supposed to be high on heroin, because remember Max was a fair dude. He definitely gave you a cut. It might not have been the cut that you were supposed to get, but you got a cut.
Yeah.
Knowing that it was $350,000, she at least maybe got what? Let's say 20, 30 grand. Let's let's just cut it at a low ball, 20
Yeah.
grand. Yeah. She'd have been dead in half a week if she was a heroin addict.
Damn.
With
Not half a week.
20 grand worth of heroin? Come on, bro. She'd have been dead. Somebody would have killed her. One of the addicts that she smoked with definitely would have killed her. Not punched her in the eye. Because that's not gonna happen at all. You know what I'm saying? She'd have did that or she'd have OD'd. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, bro. So when he came in, notice when he came in and she was laid out, she didn't have no fucking needle or nothing. She was just passed out in the bathroom. She ain't had nothing tied around her arm, none of that. She just passed out in the bathroom. She wasn't on drugs. Now she might have, popped a pill or something like that, but nah, she wasn't on no heroin.
Nah, maybe it wasn't heroin, but
Or as they used to say in the old days, that heroin. You know what I'm saying? She
heroin.
wasn't on that. She wasn't on no heroin. But yeah, just go back and check that out. You know what I'm saying? Just pay attention just a little bit more. You'll see what I'm saying. She wasn't on that. She might have been a pill popper, but that's probably about it.
Pill popper.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah, that's
So
hilarious.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I'm sure she was in possession of it, but possession don't mean you was using it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just because you got it, that's possession. If you holding weed for somebody, you go down for possession. I don't mean you technically smoke weed. Now, she ain't get into like the intent to distribute or any of that shit, but yeah, possession is definitely. That's why I said like with this movie, I think this movie is so good because the movie is a con in itself. If you really think about it, right? Like it breaks down all of these things that's going on, and if you don't really know where to look and when to look, you can get lost in what's being shown and believe in what's being shown. So, for instance, like the whole situation with him and Madeline, and like you said, we both thought that that was his mom because it didn't give off anything other than him having a relationship with his mother, him going back and forth with his mom. I really want to go back and look now to see if I can catch like if they gave a sign of oh this ain't his mama.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I want to see if they put that in there because it's like even with the situation with him and Tipsy, she broke instantly. Yo, don't get that money back because he's not a cop. And this nigga's like, what you mean he ain't a cop? Nah, this is some shit that he do all the time. And he want to see how far he can go with some shit like this. So yeah, it's a bunch of shit that in this movie, if you ain't paying attention, you'll miss out on. You know what I'm saying? You'll miss out on a lot.
Yeah.
You'll miss out on a hell of a lot. Um, but that's why I say with Max, his storyline is the most important because it technically tells you everything you need to know about what's going on, right? It kind of tells you everything that happens. Like when he's in the meeting, um, with Richard, he talks about how his son, which he's seen, his son didn't want to run the company or whatever. He decided to open a bookstore, and for his birthday, what did he get? You remember what he got for his birthday?
It was a book. Um.
The book he saw on
Oh.
girl.
So he gave her the same book.
So that's why I said the Max storyline is important because the beginning shows you what happens to Tom, right?
Yeah.
Max's storyline shows you the setup. Max's storyline is really supposed to be at the end where it shows you how everything breaks down to show you that Max is the real culprit. But what ends up happening is they put that second because Max isn't the real culprit. The real culprit in all of this is Sandra. And that's why at the end of her story, it break down everything and reveal everything. But Max's story does the same thing. It just does it early on, and you don't feel like you know what I'm saying because there's certain parts that's going on in there that you got to now go back and watch and be like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, but I think that was a brilliant move by them. But anything else, man? Before we move on,
Nah, man. I think we pretty much got everything, man.
all right, let's do it, man. Let's jump into the Five Flames.
Let's do it.
Yoga fire! Yoga flame!
All right, so what you got, bro?
Um, when it comes to this, like I said, the cast, at least the top bill cast. You know what I'm saying? We got some heavy hitters there, man. Julianne Moore is a legend in the game. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? John Lithgow, like you said, my man, he's becoming something. Like the first time I've ever seen him was in
Yeah.
Jurassic World. I didn't
Okay.
see the Get Down. I saw him in Jurassic World. Um, but I think the way they did the script was really good. I like the way this whole thing was put together. I get your point by
Mm-hmm.
having like pushing Max's story, but you know, I like the flow of where it was going
Me too.
and the twist that they threw in there, and for like you said, at the end of the day, love won. So I thought that was pretty cool. But I'm gonna give it a 4 though, and I've watched this movie. I almost gave it a 4.5. I've watched it multiple times, but there's still a few elements, like you said, like I know for the purpose of the movie, it made it make more sense, but it was just like, yo, like you do that math. It just seems
Mm-hmm.
like the deal that Richard
Oh,
offered you just felt just a
way
little
better,
bit
bro.
better.
Way
But
better, bro.
yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4 though.
I am going to have to agree with you on that, man. I'm also giving it a 4. The cast was amazing. Everybody did a phenomenal job on this. The storytelling was, I mean, top tier storytelling. The way that they set everything up to me, like I said, I think that's, you know what I'm saying. It's not just about the characters in the movie being con people, but the movie in itself is a con because the whole time it's trying to show you about this guy Max who's fucking everybody over. But the truth of the matter is Sandra is really the one that's, you know what I'm saying, setting people up and getting everything done. Um, and she does a phenomenal job at that. Uh, I'm sorry. Her name is Sabrina. I'm sorry, not Sabrina. Brianna Montgomery. I'm sorry, Brianna Middleton. Um, but Brianna Middleton does a brilliant job at playing this character. Because it's so much, like it's everything that she does is so intricate and it's so much that's going on with her character. You know, the whole drug thing, the falling in love with this guy, speaking French, and you know what I'm saying, finding Max and learning how to, be a con and all this other thing, and figuring out everything that's going on. And it's like her character is so complex, but she does such a great job of portraying this that you kind of feel like if you run into her in real life, you might want to check your pockets when she leaves. You know what I'm saying? She might pickpocket you. That's how good she played this role. Um,
Yeah.
so I was gonna also give it a 4.5, but one thing about this movie that I couldn't get with was, and I don't know if it's him or like if he's just cool with this, or if like he hasn't got to the point to where like he's at that level to where they like, Hollywood is like, okay, now you can do it. But Justice Smith,
Hmm.
every movie he's in, bro, he never has a good lineup. Never has a good lineup.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? I come on, man. Give my man a good lineup. He deserves it at this point. Get him something, you know what I'm saying? When he was in, wasn't he in Euphoria or some movie where he had like gold hair and he was doing drugs, or maybe it wasn't Euphoria. He was in something where he had like a gold hair. He had gold hair and he was supposed to be gay or something like that. And I mean, just like even that, his hairstyle was messed up, which was crazy because I've never seen like a gay dude with bad hair. Threw me all the way off. You know what I'm saying? But gay dudes always keep their appearance up. So I knew, you know what I'm saying, that wasn't what they were supposed to be portraying. You know what I'm saying? But just every movie I've seen him in, Jurassic Park, The Get Down, anything. It's just he's never had a good lineup. Just give my man a good lineup. That's all I'm asking. It's not hard. You know what I'm saying? Just hook him up. We're in Hollywood. Do him right. But outside of that, man, if he'd had a good lineup, 4.5. You know what I'm saying? Four and
yo,
a half. But nah, they playing my boy. So
oh my
I'm
god,
going for it, man. But let's
that's
get into the
hilarious.
coming soon, man.
Yes, sir.
Coming soon to own on video and DVD.
Yo, but
Oh my goodness, man. Listen, if y'all thought this episode was gonna be something, tune
oh
into the
Lord.
next episode where you hear me trash all everything about this movie. Our next movie is Gravity, starring Sandra Bullock and George Clooney. Mainly Sandra Bullock. And when I tell you, I've never hated a movie so much in my life. This is it.
Yo, yo, boy, you stupid.
I'm serious. This is it. Nothing about this movie should have been made. I'm sorry. And then the way it ended pissed me off too. But anyway, we'll get into that in the episode, man. So y'all stay tuned. Y'all make sure y'all watch that. Get into it. Listen, if you guys love this episode, if you didn't love this episode, if you too was wondering how Sandra had the black eye after doing 3 months worth of heroin with at least $30,000 and not OD'd or killed, hit us up. Let us know on the socials: Instagram, Twitter at View9 Pod, Facebook VA Pod Watch Group. You can hit us up on YouTube in the comments as you watch the videos. Also, make sure you subscribe to our paid content, $2.99 a month. We got some episodes for you. We got some other episodes for you. We got some other stuff in the works for you as well. So make sure you lock in, and also go check out S. Foster on TikTok. I think it's 28 minutes or less pod, or is it just 28 minutes or less?
Yeah, you said it right the first time.
Okay,
28 minutes or less pod.
Yep. Go to 28 minutes or less pod, excuse me, on TikTok. Make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you hit those likes. And also make sure you stay tuned and check out every clip that we drop on there so you guys could kind of see what's going on the episode that drops or episode before it comes out. Either way, just make sure you go support that page. And if you'd like to follow me, you can find me on Twitter at Scoots Bronson, link in the bio, and you can follow me everywhere else there.
And y'all can find me at S.Foster8 on Instagram and on X at 28 minutes or less pod. That is just on IG. Well, like you said, also the TikTok page, the same thing. Follow 28 minutes or less on all major platforms. Last episode is episode 145, which is still Power Book 3, Raising Canaan season 3. And that's all I got, man.
Cool, man. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. And as always, there could be no us without you. Until the next episode, like they say in Hollywood, that's a wrap.
Cut.